we ready? Okay. Hodl, 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 save, 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 build a, sound money, sound money.
Some
I
money.
Ugly Old Goat. Oh, there he is. Hello, folks. This is Ugly
Hey,
Old
hi.
Goat, and it's hodl,
Hello,
hodl, hodl.
hello.
Save, 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 build a, sound money. All right. Hey, I'm having this show because I'm kind of disgusted with some of these gold Bitcoin standard bears. This Unconfiscatable conference should be completely sold out. They have about 50 tickets left. So I'm going to be tonight writing a promotional article about it, but I wanted to get all of my followers here and all of my subscribers. If you can possibly make this conference, this is the conference you want to make this year. I will be there. The Goat Lady and I will be there. Victor from the Equity app will be there. Juan Galt will be there. There's a whole lineup of people. Max Kaiser. There's going to be some developers there. All kinds of new people. Guacamole Zuko is going to be there. And Jimmy Song. Yeah, well, who was it? I think it was Richard Hart. They called him Guacamole Zuko, and so I think that's a good name for him. He's a lot of fun. I tell you what, he's got a great sense of humor, and that's one thing that Bitcoin standard bears can have is a good sense of humor, because you know we don't have to defend anything. We know that Bitcoin is sound money. And we don't get offended if you don't think it is. So at any rate, I just wanted to get on. And again, my number one thing here today is I'm going to be looking at the markets, but I just want to encourage you, if you have time to make those dates. I think, can you put up the dates of that thing, Eddie? So I think it's February. You know the dates right off the top of here? February, I think I'm going the 16th through the, anyway, I'm going to be there on Wednesday night, and we're going to leave on Sunday. I'm not going to be in the Sunday is the poker tournament, but we need to get back. We have children. The poker tournament. But I'm going to be doing the pinball tournament, and I used to have an old pinball machine down in my basement when I was a kid. So now I'm the old guy, the kind of deaf, dumb, and blind kid. And hopefully I'll play a mean pinball, and hopefully I'm going to give everybody a run for their money on the pinball tournament. But also I found out, I was talking with Muzz, the manager of the conference. Apparently they have a whole floor. I did rent a suite because I wanted to have a suite just so I can meet with we'll probably have some kind of a hospitality thing with wine and cheese. And then if maybe you can have a class there too if we need it. But they said we probably don't even need it because we're going to have plenty of space. So I'll probably have some kind of a workshop that'll be free to members. I also wanted to share the new staff that we have. I'll be awarding one of these again this coming year to the Bitcoin Standard Bearer, and I'm actually going to be selling these. Part of the idea behind this, I mean, it's nice to have an award, and we want this to eventually be, last year the winner was Saifedean Amos, and he definitely deserved it because he wrote the Bitcoin Standard, which really gave us all a good foundation. And so this year, we're not going to tell you who the award is to, but somebody that's very deserving. And pinned. And so what I'm planning on doing is making these. I'm going to actually try and have 10 of them made by the conference. They cost me about $400 to make, and but I'm not going to. Anything that I'll do enough to cover our costs. I'm going to charge like $1,500 for one of these, but the difference, the extra $1,000 is going to go as a stipend to the Bitcoin Standard Bearer, because it's nice to get an award, but it's even nicer if you get a little stipend with it. It would be nice, if we can hand out 10 or 20 or $30,000 along with the award. So it's really something that people want, and it's a really honor that they can. We're going to be doing the same thing at the meeting in Malta, the Understanding Bitcoin. We're designing a shield, and we want to kind of do the same thing. The developers particularly need to be rewarded. So at any rate, that's the direction I'm going with this. I want you guys to see this. It's the long staff. I cut it short because it's kind of unwieldy when I'm sitting down here. But I'll probably be putting that on the website or promoting it in some way. If you want one, email us at support@uglyoldgoat, and we'll hook you up. Again, I'm going to be charging $1,500, but $1,000 of it will be going to the recipient of the award. So that's the promotion behind that. So now that I'm over with the formal ceremonies, I think I can take off my mask. So excuse me, Ugly Old Goat is going to leave, and somebody else will be taking his place. All right. All right, here, I'm back. Yeah, I wanted to answer questions on the market. I'll share what we've been doing first of all, and then I'll let maybe you take over with the equity app, Victor, because I know you guys, I haven't had time to work with you guys this week. I was traveling this weekend, but here we are on the equity app. I did take, I put 2 Bitcoin in there that I wound up not needing, but I wanted it in there in case the market broke through the previous week's lows. So we started with 0.6 Bitcoin at the first of the year, and now it's at 3.8. So we're doing very well. And basically, I am looking for this market to, what I'm really looking for is for the Bitcoin coin dominance to just come roaring back. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. I don't know. Market could, right now, it seems like Bitcoin is going up and the alts are going down. I wouldn't be surprised if that continues. But we're at an area here too where, if the crypto world collapses, it could drag a Bitcoin down with it too. So what I'm doing is, if you look at my position here, I think I just sold some more here a little bit. I've lightened up. I had 200,000 Bitcoin on, and I've taken off 30,000, and I'm short. I didn't do a very good job of getting short these alts, but it's still working, and that's it. And then maybe I'll go into this. Really like this dominance chart. So let me pull that up. All right. So let me go back to the screen share because I wanted to show you where we're at. Apparently, I wasn't on it before. Go share, and then I go, there we go. Okay, there's the Bitcoin dominance. That's what I just pulled up. But we're going to go here first. This is the actual, here's the account. We started with 0.6 at the beginning of the year. I did add at one time 1.4 because I didn't want to get blown out. And then we took that out. And then over the weekend, I was afraid it would break when I was traveling. So I put in an extra 2 Bitcoin, but I pulled that out. So we made about 6 times this month, which is great. And I've been trimming. If you've been following this at all, I think I just sold some more right up in here. Let's see, my last fill was I sold the December. Let's see, reload. Yeah, 90.74. And so, and I've got more to we rally up. I just missed that peak. I had an order at 91.51. It went to 91.50, but I think it's very likely to go back up there. As far as these other markets, just put these things on. This is, well, let me move this over. That's your Bitcoin. Here's the Bcash, which I was afraid to sell this rally, guys. I think it's going down, but the problem with selling, and I did kind of warn you guys against selling short these alts. If you don't know what you're doing, you probably ought to stay away because they are subject to being pumped, and that's what bothers me. That's why I don't want to get too. I never had a big position on it. Not planning on having a big position. Because if they succeed, I know they're trying to pump this thing above 4, trying to get it to 6 and 8, and maybe they're hoping for 10 or 20%, even 30 or 40%. Roger Ver predicts a Bitcoin Cash is going to $100,000. Well, I think it's much more likely it's not even going to hold 4 in here, and we'll rapidly go back down under 3 and then just capitulate from there on out. I think that you've got very serious problems in the crypto world. Hopefully it will for the most part go away in 2020. We'll see. A lot of people think it still has more life into it, but I think the regulatory shoes are about ready to drop, and if it does, the question is, what effect is it going to have on Bitcoin? So you can't rule out the idea that this market could break back down to that 2-week low, which is, I don't know what, 8,300 or something now, or anyway, it's moved up quite a bit, and we could have a sell-off down to into the 5,000 area, and even actually the healthiest thing that can happen to Bitcoin is we go into a big bear market and a grinding market all the way down to 3,000 again. If that happens over a long period of time, it's just a super bullish situation. And then we've cleaned out everybody out. But Bitcoin is Bitcoin. There's no assurance that's going to happen. That's why we hodl. There's every reason to be long now. So I am long. And I trade, I hodl and I trade, and I save and I build it. And that's the whole thing behind what I teach. So at that, we'll go to, let me go pull up the, yeah, no, where's this one here? I want to go. Okay, this is the market dominance. Now, this is the 1 hour, and actually, I've had a pretty good move. My equity actually shot up. It went up to almost, let's go back here. It went up to almost 4, and it started with 0.6. So it went just in the last couple hours. It went from 3 to 3.8. It gained almost a whole Bitcoin. So I could, lighten up in here. It probably wouldn't be. I already have. I already sold some Bitcoin. So a good time to be trimming. If you go here and look at, let's change the 1 hour is completely different from the daily. Let's go look at the daily because it's completely gives you a different picture. The daily hasn't even started yet, guys. Okay. And if this thing starts up and I look for it to do that, it's possible the thing could break on down, but I don't think so. I think this is it has to go up to confirm it. but the fundamental support that this thing is going to, that Bitcoin is going to gain on the rest of these. Now, it's possible I'm completely wrong. And if that happens, then we'll break down into this kind of a market. And that's going to be a different opportunity because, you know, what it means is that these guys are able to pump the market for a while. And now it'll be how I'll just see if I can be a small trader and become a big trader in 2020. And part of that will be done not just by hodling Bitcoin and trading Bitcoin, but also by shorting this the crypto world, because I do think it's going to be a big short. Either way, it breaks from here. I mean, the thing is, I've got to bet that this thing's pretty well just cleaned itself out, and we're going to the Bitcoin dominance is going to reemerge, but we don't. So then let's go look at. Let's go over here. I'm going to go to Tone Base, and we can look at Unconfiscatable, because that's what I want to concentrate on, guys. Let's go here, and we'll go to unconfiscatable.com. Again, I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't signed up for this, this is the conference you want to go to, okay? You got Giacomo Zucco coming. I don't know Phil Lark. I know Willie Woo is going to be there. He's great, man. A great technical analyst. Jimmy Song, who you all know. Peter McCormick, who I've heard but never met. And there's going to be, let's see who else is here. We got Leah, who I know. Saifuddin Amos, he's going to be there. The last year's winner of the Bitcoin Standard Bearer. Now, he got the first one we ever made, and he actually got a short stick, guys, one like this or even shorter. And then we decided, you know what, those are too short. We need a staff. So we make these a staff now. So if you want to be a Bitcoin Standard Bearer and you want to give these guys that win the award a little stipend, buy one of these, bring it to the conference. And it's kind of, Tyler Jenks loved this thing. He had pictures of himself all over with it. And he said, oh, Ugly, you know what? This is what we need. We need to start traditions for Bitcoin Standard Bearers. And exactly, that's what this is all about. We want this to be an award that's an honor to get. Adam Back is going to be there, okay? Which I've never met the guy, but he's, one of the Bitcoin core developers. You've got Trace Mayer, who has Mayer Multiple and was one of the earliest Bitcoin adopters. Let me scroll down here and get some more. We've got, all right, we got Dan Held. I've never met Dan, although I think I've read his articles. I think I criticized one of his articles once. I think that was him. I'm not sure. And I don't even remember what it was about. And I don't know these other people. I don't know Colleen or John Narajan. John Dilley, I know he was there last year. And again, Lil Goat's going to be there. And they BK, I don't know who that is. So at any rate, this is going to be a super great conference. Juan Galt is going to be there and covering it as a press, I believe. And of course, Victor is coming as a conference attendee. And we'll probably have some kind of a workshop at our suite for you guys that have been playing with the Equity app. So anyway, that's what I have to. Now, if you go down here and look, here's why I want to have this. There are 53 tickets left, okay, at the $250 price. If this is a bargain, guys. And I want to see this thing sold out. I want to get it sold out before the end of this month. I've kind of been commissioned, or I didn't commission, I just volunteered to write a Medium article about last year's conference and why this is the one that you want to go to. And like I say, the Goat Lady is going to be there. We'll be bringing some swag. I'll be doing. I guess they're going to have a place where I can do a workshop. We want to just meet up. I've got a suite where we can meet up, so it'll be a lot of fun. This is what I'm going to be doing here. Is this pinball tournament, and let's see, where's my? I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay, the pinball tournament. It's just $25 to play. And like I said, you probably don't want to join that because I'm going to win. I'll just be taking your money anyway. So that, I don't think anybody will be able to touch me in pinball. I've been playing, even though I'm deaf, dumb, and blind. I think that will be all mine. Now the pinball is on. Okay, 2:20. Let's go look at the calendar. All right. Okay, the 20th is Thursday night. Now we're going to get in on Wednesday, so we're going to drive. Juan Galt and I and the Goat Lady are coming, and I think Victor, you're driving up on your own. Is that correct?
Yeah. I actually going to drive on Friday.
Okay. That's right. You got to work, don't you? You're not in that self-employed category yet. You're working to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to be driving there. When are you going to get there on Friday?
Around 3 p.m. I guess.
Oh, okay.
So on Friday, 3 p.m. and then I'm leaving on Monday.
All right. So you can play in the poker tournament, right?
Yeah, I'm just not a poker guy.
Well, I wasn't either, but I played last year. It didn't take me long to get eliminated, but it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And then there's a carnivory dinner too, guys. I will be going to that. If you haven't been to one of those, it's great. It's $200, a little pricey for a dinner, but all the speakers will be there. And it's a real, it'll be, a very intimate one-on-one. I'll be appearing as Ugly Old Goat with one of these staffs, and it'll just be a lot of fun. So, you want to cover the Equity Act for these people today? Because I haven't. I mean, I could pull it up, but you're better at pulling that up. Have you loaded my?
Yeah, I have loaded your account.
Okay, let's take a look and see how Ugly Old Goat is doing. It should look pretty good after today.
Yeah, it's broken. I told you last time that I'm bullish on your equity. Let's see.
You're bullish on my what?
On your equity.
Oh, you're bullish on my equity. Yeah, it looks like it just started at 1 or 2, doesn't it?
I would like to bet on you, Ugly.
Well, it looks like, and I might be wrong, but I just have a feeling that these alts are just going to roll over and die. And the question is Bitcoin going to die with it? And it's at a point, but they can diverge. This is all new stuff. So, I mean, if these markets diverge now, Ugly Old Goat is going to just do fantastic here in the next few weeks. So, like I said, I wish I sold more of that on that rally, but I was kind of afraid to, And the way the market's been working is the Bcash, is the first to rally, then everything else rallies, and then it crashes and crashes harder than anything else. Wow, that looks pretty good. I'm on a 6. It looks like my equity, let's see, I've got 32 I've taken out at the first of the year. And what did I say? I'm about 4.
Close to 4.
Close to 4 now. So we're at 36. I can pick up 4 more Bitcoin, and I'm at an equity high, because I started February 4th.
Remember this account, the equity app is just measuring your current account.
Right.
The 32 Bitcoin was on another account. So right now in this account you're actually on the negative side, but you are going up.
Right. Well, yeah. Let me explain that, guys. My new account, I regularly seem to get my accounts closed from at BitMEX, and even though I don't trade for myself at all, I mean, my wife is Mexican. She's a Mexican citizen. I'm a resident of Mexico, and we live here in Mexico. But even though she's a Mexican citizen, if she logs in by mistake in the United States, they will shut down her account, and they don't even. Yeah, last time that's happened twice, and they shut down my account because I am a U.S. citizen, but I'm a resident in Mexico, but that doesn't seem to make any difference. So I don't trade for myself at all. The goat lady trades, and she listens pretty closely. So that's that's the important thing. Hopefully, she'll continue to listen to me. So I've got a nice little bottle of Bordeaux I'm going to open because it's that time of the evening to relax a little bit. So explain people the equity app now. So
did you saw the last update of on the equity app?
Did I sell what?
Did you see the last update on the equity app?
No, I haven't updated it for probably a week. You got a new one out?
Yeah. Just
I'll
some different stuff on the stat. I added this section, the sort and filter. When you it's a different ways to sort and filter your trades when you are analyzing. So right now you have a lot of trades open. You have 7 positions on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot.
What I noticed the yellow box, that's the June that I've had on. That's kind of my core position.
Yeah, it's this the orange is the unrealized profit you have on that position, and this green circle is the what you have realized.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
So you have a lot of profit to realize from that position.
Right.
So, for example, right now, these are your trades sorted by duration, but the time the trade was open. So you have around 1,000 hours with your core position on the June contract. So right now we have sort this thing by position size and gives you another perspective.
Ah, okay.
So let me see. See, it's loading. So I added the 2 different ways. The position
Well,
size.
the key is I just don't now. I pretty well, weathered the storm. So because I knew we were going to get a sell off, and I actually was net short at the right time, but bought it. But I tend to have a tendency, and I know this because I know my own trading. I have a tendency to buy way too early, which I did. I bought back in too early, and I was waiting. That's why I added 2 Bitcoin to the account, because if it had taken out that previous, I had orders down there. If it took out the previous week's lows last week, I would have been a buyer, and pretty much, in other words, that was my GOAT stop. If you guys don't know what a GOAT stop is, just go to the website or Medium is probably better, because all my articles on Medium, not all of them, not a lot of them are on the website. But just Google GOAT stops, an ugly old goat, and you can see what I'm talking about. Basically what it is particularly if you have a problem getting stopped out, just put on about half the position you would normally do it, and where you put your stop, that's where you can double down. And it's just a way to manage your funds, and that's the important thing. I mean, and when you're losing, you cut back. If you notice, guys, when my equity dropped, I cut back. I cut all the way back to the beginning of the year. I was only trading with a little over half a Bitcoin, and I took much smaller position sizes. Now, as my equity grows, I can improve on that. But I'm really, I want to. I'd rather go slowly and sure, and I don't want to have. I had a big. It wasn't a catastrophe, but I had I was pretty confident of what the market was going to do. When you get confident, you're almost always going to be wrong. And I took a bigger position than I had, and every time you do that, it comes back to bite you. But as long as you're following good money management, you can survive those things. Yeah. So
my internet crappy and crashed the equity app. Let me. My internet is crappy and crashed the equity app because it can't connect to BitMEX. So I'm loading again.
Oh, Bitcoin Motors is on here. Yeah, okay, Bitcoin Motors. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you too, Bitcoin Motors, and Adam back. So Eddie, can you send Bitcoin Motorist the link? Maybe he wants to join us. He's watching this. We can have him join in. Can you send Bitcoin Motorist the link? Yeah, because
I'll send it through his Telegram.
yeah, we'll send it to you through Telegram, Bitcoin Motorist.
Okay, Ugly. This is your all your trades sorted by size. So that is what you was talking about. Here is where you get confident, and look what happened.
Okay.
Very clear, very clear. So
yeah, you can just see. Yeah, I mean, there it is, and what I won't say black and white and green and red and yellow.
This is the one. So 11% a loss on that position, and that was a biggie. Like your max position was 26 Bitcoin at that position.
Yeah, and I was hoping to turn that position into 40 Bitcoin. That was my goal, but instead I lost about
so
5.
Also you can just see the longs or the shorts with this. So there's a couple of features to, because when you have a lot of trades, this thing is start to get messy, and that's where these options came to help.
Okay.
So yeah, I also added these yellow lines, that this area between the lines is like all the most of your trades are there in and you know that when your profit or unrealized or realized is above that line, is it's a above average trade for you. So this is
and what the key to success, and you'll see that all along, is you have to have a long-term perspective. I mean, it's hard to make it in the market swing trading, unless you're right there active in, if you're running a business and got 100 other things going on like I do, you just can't be trading that way. And, that's what was going on this last week. That's why I had to put in 2 Bitcoin. Says, you know what, I don't want to get wrecked out of this position. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna Bitcoin Motors. I gotta be back, and we got children that got to go to school on Monday, so I'm going to be leaving on Sunday. We'll be there Sunday morning. We'll be there for the first part of the tournament, but I won't be playing it. I did play last year, but I won't be playing this year. All right, and let's see. Yes, confidence does make me.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to say about the equity app is that that there's a couple of people interested in the app, and they are on the Mac OS X system, and actually the tests are looking good. So some of the guys on the group are testing the app right now in the Mac version, and they say they like the last update. So apparently it's working fine on Mac already. So people who are interested and has a Mac computer, it's
So it's working on a Mac computer now. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, and
well,
the next step is getting. The next step is getting to work it for Deribit also. So you could because there's a couple of users, a couple of guys that reach to me, and they say, you know what, I'm a U.S. citizen, and I don't want to use a VPN to trade on BitMEX, and I'm just using Deribit. So I need to add that for that people who are interested. So it's my next
Can people
project.
in the U.S. trade? If you're in the U.S., you can trade on Deribit. Is it?
Apparently, yes.
Okay.
I don't trade there, but apparently they say they do.
Well, now you are going to do I thought would be interesting too, because I really think this has potential. I really do. It's the first. It's a truly new indicator, I believe. I don't know of anything else out there like it, and so everybody can experiment with it. And I think one thing that we wanted to do is just kind of open up a small account, maybe with a half a Bitcoin or a Bitcoin, and then just do a random trade, but maybe
using
not
money
quite
management.
random. Maybe if we think the market's in a bull trend, you lean bullish, you kind of lean one way or another. But as far as the actual taking a position, just almost do it randomly on certain rules that you make from the equity app. I think that's sort of what you had in mind. Is that correct? Something like that?
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Because I've said that all along, and people just don't understand it. They think, "Oh, you got to be right the market." I said, "No, you don't have to be right the market. You're gonna be wrong. You just need to. When you're wrong, you need to, limit those losses, and when you're right, you need to be right for all it's worth." Hey, that's why we hodl, guys. If you didn't hodl, you sold your Bitcoin way, way too early. I mean, I can tell you story after story of people that had Bitcoin, from under $1,000, and they sold it as soon as it went over 1,000, went to 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000, and they never were able to get back in. And then by the same token, the opposite of that is you hodl, 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 and you never reward yourself. And I've known people that, they continue to hodl, and they hodl all the way through, $20,000 Bitcoin. Hey, here's Bitcoin Motors. How are you?
I'm doing well, Ugly.
Hey.
Hey, Victor. Good to see you again.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to get together with you because you're kind of the organizer of the Pork Fest. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I am one of the members of the organizing team. It's a group effort. There's no way I could organize that thing by myself. There's a lot of moving parts, but I am one of the people that's
okay. Well, I was thinking, because I know you're behind it, and I've always this summer I want to take my family on a vacation. I've never really been to New England, and so I was thinking maybe we'll just drive out there. So if you can hook me up with that, Ugly Old Goat and Goat Lady and all of our kids might show up.
I will do my best to get you there, and maybe we'll get something going. I can't promise anything obviously yet because we're barely just started. We're in the pre-stages, but I would like to talk with you to see if we could have you be a part of
well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do a lot, and I'm going to select the venues that I want to go to, and you're one that I selected. What is the date of that? Do you know that? Have you set your date?
It's usually around June 20th, and I think they did release the date. So let me double check the dates. It's 1 second. Let me double check my calendar. But yeah, it's usually around June 20th. So it's the week of June 20th normally, and let's see here. Is it saying June 22nd?
I'm not sure when the kids get out of school. I think around then, but I think they get out after.
Yeah, and I'm
weird down here in Mexico. They have a It's just weird when the school hours are, and I think it's right around then, but that's just about the time to get out of school. So yeah, send me that information, because if we do it, we're going to drive. We're going to take the diesel bus and drive across the country.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I would love to have you here. It's
yeah, I got to mute. We got to change out mics, I guess. So I'm going to mute for a minute.
So gotcha.
It's on you, Bitcoin Motors. I can't talk.
No worries. I'll hold it down for a minute. Yeah, New Hampshire is beautiful during the summer, so I do recommend you come out and check it out. And I am going to be in LA in February before driving to Vegas for Unconfiscatable. So I'm going to show up at Unconfiscatable. I'm going to meet up with Zezo and Tone and Muzz in Vegas a couple of days before Unconfiscatable, just to make sure everything is all set and to help out in organizing Unconfiscatable as well. So yeah, I'm really stoked for Unconfiscatable. Really looking forward to meeting Adam back for the first time and seeing some familiar faces that I've seen before at other events, including yourself, Ugly, and also Victor, and good. It'll be good to see Saifedean again and Johnny Dilly. Johnny Dilly is an awesome guy. Looking forward to talking with him again. Giacomo, obviously. Giacomo is he's just a pleasure. I always like listening to Giacomo speak. You wouldn't think that he would be a really good person to listen to speak because of his heavy Italian accent, but the Italian accent just adds to his charm. I love the way he pronounces some of those words. Like instead of saying newbie, he says new buy, which I think is pretty fun. Yeah, he says the new buys. So yeah, Giacomo is awesome. And there's an old. It's not.
Oh, and they hate him.
Yeah.
The crypto world just hates him because
Yeah.
he's so funny.
Yeah.
And he keeps his composure. He has not one shred of anger in him. He just has lots of fun. And
He has both the stature. He has both the stature and wisdom of Yoda.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I'm going to be in LA for a few days before. I don't know if I'll have a chance to come see you at the Hacienda or not, but I'll be in LA maybe a week before. I think February 12th. I'm flying from Boston to LA. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you.
We just did a little meetup with some members. I just met with 3 members in LA, but it was really a good meetup. But what I found was really, it was a relaxed meeting at a coffee shop, and we just sat and talked. And you know what? It was very relaxed. We drank coffee, and they were able to pull things out of me that that you can do in a conversation. That you do these things and you kind of plan it and so forth. But at least with me, I got my hands on a lot of different pies, and so I'm sitting here balancing things, and I got a full family, so it's always a balancing act. But just the goat lady went to a show there and bought some new equipment, but learned a lot of her trade, just to improve her trade. And so I had free time, and so we just met, and I've met with 3 guys. 2 of them will be coming to the Unconfiscatable conference. So that's just it was great. It was great, and I need to probably do more of that. And probably this year, maybe we'll have a retreat down in here, because I've got this Bitcoin house down here that we're really not utilizing that much. So hopefully we'll get that going this year.
Anytime I fly to LA, I always take Whitney with me. So she always comes with me to LA. But I'm not taking her to Vegas. And if I do come to the Hacienda, she's not coming. So she's going to stay in California. She's not going to drive down with me.
Oh, no, I didn't usually love. No, the goat lady loves dogs. Your dog is welcome. That's not a. I'm the one. I don't. I could do without dogs, but my wife and we've got.
It's not the goat lady I'm worried about. It's the killer. You have.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have a trained guard dog that will literally, he'll eat you from. But he doesn't eat other dogs. It's as if you're a person. He'll eat you.
Oh, okay.
We have a little dog there. He's very gentle with other dogs.
Gotcha. Well, that's wonderful. I'm wearing my Lakers jacket in honor of. I was a fan of Kobe Bryant, which we lost yesterday. It was a big shock to me yesterday when I found out the news. So I was a little bit devastated yesterday. But just wearing my Lakers jacket in honor of Kobe Bryant. Here in New England, I don't really get a chance to wear this jacket very often, just because it's enemy territory for any Lakers fan here in the Boston, New England area. But just thought I'd throw it on here for coming on here.
I'm from Kansas City, so you can see where I'm at. And I haven't followed. I mean, I used to follow them when I was had a more conventional life, and I lived in Kansas City. But I didn't know. I heard that we were at that conference, and I saw they won their playoff and then the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So that's a big thing when a city goes to the Super Bowl. It gets them all excited, and so you can't help but get with the with the program. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of fun. So, we're going to be going across in San Diego, and have my two adopted Mexican sons will be seeing their first Super Bowl, because it's only it's only been about a year that we've been able to take everybody across the border, because it's I can understand why people are illegal immigrants, because to go through all the hoops, it's not easy, folks. It's really hard.
Are you going to Miami?
What's in Miami?
Isn't the Super Bowl this year in Miami?
The what?
Or Oh, I thought you said.
Oh
you were
no,
gonna
no,
go to
I'm not going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not
Okay,
going to go. We're just going to go to. We're just going to have a Super Bowl party. I'm not going to
Super
go to
Bowl
the
party.
Super.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I
no,
thought you
no,
were
no,
on
no. I'm not that. I took my son to the World Cup. So yeah, I was figured in Russia. We went to like 4 games of the World Cup, but I figured I had because Mexico was in the World Cup, and and he didn't really want to go, and he did finally get into it a bit. But he's just my oldest son's not much of a traveler. He's going to always be a home buddy. So,
Gotcha.
and that's okay. That's okay. Everybody, everybody's different. So it's okay to be. Some people just don't like to travel, and I get it because it can be a pain. So.
No, I feel you. I took a trip to Nicaragua once, and I did not necessarily have a good time. It's not really the fault. I think it wasn't the country's fault. I just wasn't really used to, the conditions in Nicaragua. But I wouldn't mind going back now a little bit later. Now that I'm kind of know what to expect. So they say sometimes Americans. I know he's a Mexican, but I know they say Americans don't travel well just because we're used to certain class of things to be a certain way. So we're kind of fussy travelers. So sometimes we don't travel well to like in third world locations. But yeah, I understand. I try to only travel when it's necessary. But it's really good to be on here with you. I need to get off here in a second just because I have some work to do, believe it or not. But I'm really looking
but I
forward
said you're
to seeing
on, and you know what? My son Aaron, he was very impressed by you. He said that of all the speakers, he thought that you gave the very best speech at the Working Man's Bitcoin Cruise. So hopefully we'll get that together.
Thank you.
This year. But he said, man, I really like the message that he presented. So
it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't invited me. So I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart of inviting me. So it was a huge honor when you asked me.
Well, that's what this is about. I'm sure you read some of my articles, and this is where I'm trying to get people on track. Hey, I might be wrong, but show me I'm wrong. The Bitcoin standard, Bitcoin is the new gold. And we have to look at how a gold standard emerged, because that is the most likely way that we're going to develop the Bitcoin standard. And, I might get kind of radical at the unconfiscatable, because I'm actually going to think about this, Bitcoin Motors, because you think about these things a lot. I don't think the next major innovation in sound money is going to come from the crypto world at all. It's going to come from meat and potatoes entrepreneurs.
I love it.
We're going to figure this thing out, because the hard part's already been done. That's what Bitcoin's about. That's what Adam Back is about. That's what these guys, they're the nuclear scientists that are keeping control. And to a degree, you and I, we both know we're not at their level. Okay. We respect for what they are. I'm not a coder. But that's why I say, the bugs in Bcash is not code. The bugs in Bcash are the people behind it, and that's where the strength is in Bitcoin, because the strength in Bitcoin is the code, and the people behind it recognize that, and it is going to be again, what I see happening is the next bull move is going to be the largest move in duration and in there's duration, and then there's in
amplitude,
volume or amplitude.
Yeah, not
in size,
in scope. Yeah, in scope or size. Yeah.
Yeah, in size, and it's going to be. Just as Bitcoin developed organically, this is going to develop organically, and it's going to develop from the hodlers. Hey guys, hey hodlers, if we are our own banks, we need to start acting like bankers. That's the bottom line.
Well, what you just said, Ugly, is exactly right up my alley, and I love stuff like that, where we try to speculate on what's going to happen in the future. And here's another radical idea, which I'm sure you may or may not agree with, is I don't think anybody quite even understands Bitcoin at this point. If you remember in the speech that I gave at the conference, all these inventions, people didn't really understand, like you said, the scope of the invention until years and years later. I mean, when the printing press, and when the printing press was invented, see, people, when they got books, they went to scribes, and the scribes wrote out the book for them. So when the printing press was invented, people didn't know exactly how to use them. The idea of a bookstore didn't exist where you could just go to a place where there was a whole bunch of books. So I don't even think anybody even understands what Bitcoin is going to bring quite yet, because everybody is trying to fit Bitcoin into a previous thing. We're trying to say, oh, it's like gold, or oh, it's like PayPal, or oh, it's like it's, you know, it's
and that's fine. You know, that's okay.
Yeah.
You have to go. And that's why I look at gold, because it's the last best model to look at. And,
absolutely. And I'm not opposed to it.
And it was so, it's still, you know, and that's why, like I said, I feel so fortunate because my mentor in life is E.C. Harwood, who, you know, wrote just a little brief article of about 5 pages on the lost art of commercial banking. And that is what the goal, you know, that's what I want to be writing about this coming years. There's a big difference between Bitcoin and the Bitcoin standard. There's a tremendous difference.
You said that before. Can you expand on it? Can you clarify that?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to be writing, because it's not clear in my mind on everything. But yeah, the difference is because what. Very few people had gold. Gold was not used as cash once it became a standard. The only people that had gold were basically governments, banks, and the wealthy. Now, if you were poor, or you're middle class, or, you know, back then it wouldn't be middle class. It would be what, somebody that was in a trade. You could own gold. You had the freedom. You could own gold, but it really wasn't worth. You didn't need it because everything was already. You had credits. This whole system was.
It wasn't practical.
What?
It wasn't practical.
It wasn't practical. Right. There's no, unless you have wealth that you can store.
Ugly. I think you what you mean, Ugly, is like Bitcoin is going to be used like a unit of account, right?
Yes.
You will be measuring things against Bitcoin. And
yes, and well, then they're already, and the whole crypto world already does that.
Yeah. But not using directly on-chain transactions, for example.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, if you notice, I've been silent on the Lightning Network. I kind of get it, but I really don't. And it's kind of, you know, when you start getting into code, it gets way beyond me. But, you know, my number one question is, why is it necessary? It really isn't, because the one thing that I've learned, like from Jimmy Song, is that, you know, anything off chain is really more efficient. And it's kind of like, you know, the problems that we had with the Equity App. People, you know, oh, well, it needs to be secure, and it needs to be this check and that. No, that doesn't make it any safer. What it boils down to is the personal relationship between Victor, the developer, and, you know, it's integrity. It's basically, that's what I got from my mentor, E.C. Harwood, and it's imprinted on hundreds of gold coins, thousands of gold coins, and it says, for integrity, there is no substitute. And so that, you know, Bitcoin actually enforces morality. Well, that's my view. So, well, it looks like we lost Bitcoin Motorist, but that's okay, because he said he had to go. But yeah, I'm looking forward. This is going to be a great conference, guys. If you have never been to a Bitcoin conference, come to this one, because all it is you're just going to come, and your mind's going to explode, because you're going to be fed so much, and you'll be making so many great acquaintances that it'll just be a super, super, super event. So guys, it's $250. You know, go sign up for it. Okay. And if you do, let Tony, I don't know if he has I get nothing from it, but let him know if you sign up. If there, I think there's a little email saying you heard it through this podcast, because I really want this thing. I'm just amazed and I'm very disappointed that we're not sold out on this thing already, because it should be. It's that good. It's going to be that good. And like I say, if you're going to come to, if there's one conference you want to come to in 2020, it's this one. And I can guarantee you that. So.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of great speakers there.
Good night, Zazo.
Yes, that's what it's going.
All right. All right. Well, hey, Bitcoin Motors, thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I definitely hope to make it to the Pork Fest. That was one. Another one that I want to go to, and it maybe not this year, but another year, and that's the one in Calgary, just because it's in Calgary, and I love the Canadian Rockies. And I promised my wife I would take her to Lake Victoria someday, and we'll spend a few days at the hotel there in Lake Victoria. It's like the most picture-perfect hotel in the whole world I've ever seen. It's just absolutely outstanding. So. How was your work week, Victor? How was your work week today, David? You got to work tomorrow?
Yeah, actually, that's. I actually got a promotion on Friday, and a kind of unexpected promotion. So, you remember I was in charge of one factory. Right now, I'm in charge of 2 factories.
Oh, so, wonderful. Yeah. So how many employees is that? How many people is it?
I don't know yet. So tomorrow is my first day in that position. So I need to travel to Mexicali, 2 hours away from Tijuana, and yeah, a lot of work.
Wait, you have to drive there tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to drive every week and stay there like 2 or 3 days, and then come to Tijuana, start 2 or 3 days in the factory here. So it's going to be, I'm going to be very busy, but I need to balance that with the equity of my family. Yeah, as you say, my dish is full.
Well, I hope you got more than a title and responsibility. I hope they gave you a pay raise too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All right. Well, that's the most important part.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be a good challenge, a good challenge in my career, but I think I'm prepared. So it's going to be a kind of difficult to be traveling every week, but.
Oh, you got to go to Mexicali every week now, huh?
Yeah. Wow. I need to stay there like 2 or 3 days a week.
Wow.
Every week. For I don't know. I need to figure it out.
Balance it out.
Well, my mother-in-law will only use the flour that you make. I made the mistake of buying a competitor's flour, and I will never make that mistake again.
You got punished.
Can I plug your company a little bit?
No.
Okay, I can't. Okay, I can't tell who he works for. But anyway, let me put it this way: he works for a company that is very well known in Mexico, and they have a very high quality product that everybody uses. So, anyway, that's.
So that was my last week, and in regard to the equity, I was almost the heavy lift is done right now. It's more like some adding some small features, some fixing some bugs, but adding new exchange. I was reading on comments that Deribit is going to start doing KYC next week, so maybe it's not a good option now.
Who's going to do KYC?
Deribit.
Oh, Deribit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they can't. They can't be customers without KYC. That's just the way it is. I mean, if you have to do KYC. Did I lose you, Victor?
Yeah. I couldn't hear anything of what you said.
Okay, well, we can hear you now. So, all right. Well, I think we're done. I need to be working tonight. Again, I need to write a promotional article, Medium, and on the website for Unconfiscatable because this thing should be. I can't believe it's not sold out by now. But I know everybody waits for the last minute.
Yeah,
So
everybody waits for the last
they
minute.
wait for the last minute, and then what's going to happen is those last 50 tickets are going to be gone, and then the price is going to go up because they're sold out now, and they don't need anybody because they are limited in space. The D Hotel is not the biggest thing in Las Vegas, although they do have an entire floor. But anyway, I just we need to make sure that this is it's a big risk doing these conferences, guys. I did one last year, and the only reason that I was able to, break even on it is because I sold a lot of tickets at, when Bitcoin was low, and people paid me in Bitcoin, and I didn't have to sell the Bitcoin. I did the same thing, and guys, this is kind of how Bitcoin works. This is kind of like a lesson in HODL, save, and build I did that promotion in December because I didn't think Bitcoin was going to go down anymore, and said, you know what? I give everybody a bargain. They can buy my newsletter, a lifetime subscription for like $300 for a lifetime, and yeah, my life, not yours, but as long as I live a few years, it's a great bargain, and so they got a great bargain. I got a great bargain because I didn't sell the Bitcoin. I'm going to sell it now because I know I got to pay my credit cards off every month, so I got to sell some every month. Well, this is a pretty good time to sell, $9,500 Bitcoin that I got, under 7,000. That's not too shabby of a return, and that's how you do it. You kind of, it doesn't always work in your favor, but for the most part, it does. I mean, the whole thing is the mega trend, the fundamentals and the fundamentals aren't really Bitcoin. The fundamentals is the weakness of our fiat system. And that's the underlying fundamentals. And it doesn't matter whether it's pesos or dollars, although I see that peso's been a little strong against the dollar, which is kind of a good thing.
Okay, I was thinking that is it like USA is printing more than Mexico, and that's why they are printing more money than Mexico, and that's why the peso is
well, it used to be in Mexico that Bitcoin was always trading at a substantial premium over the rest of the world. Not anymore. Sometimes it's cheaper here in Mexico than it is the rest of the world. I mean, it's not like I used to always buy everywhere else, and now I don't even buy any Bitcoin. I mean, I trade to make Bitcoin, but I haven't bought Bitcoin in 2 years. But I used to do a lot of arbitrage and then sell it in Mexico, but that's kind of gone. And part of it, I think, is because the tether dollars and that kind of thing. People can move money around much easier. So,
but also the market is maturing. I guess, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And Mexico is. We're very fortunate to have a very good exchange. Pablo Gonzalez and Ben, Bitso is a very, very efficient. They're really good guys. I mean, my hat goes off to you, Pablo and Ben, and they're we're very fortunate because and Bitso just has a very good reputation. I consider them right up there next to Arthur Hayes and BitMEX. They're that good. So, and then Mexico, Mexico is backwards in a lot of ways, but in the one thing they're way ahead of the Western world and way ahead of most of the world is they have an internal wire system called SPI, or what do you call it in Spanish, SPI or SPI? Same thing.
SPI.
Spay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically it's instant. When we spay somebody's account, it's minutes. It just you do it and it shows up almost instantly and I think one of the reasons they've done that is checks were never used that much here in Mexico. But now that we're in the electronic age, the spay systems far more efficient, and it's virtually free. It's very small, 5 or 10 pesos at the most, $1, less than 50 cents to send a spay. A lot of banks do it free. Bitso does it for you free.
And between different banks, not the same bank.
Yeah, in between different banks, and I noticed they even expanded it to Saturdays and Sundays now. I mean, you could, just amazing.
Yeah.
So. The United States is way far behind the rest of the world, and in that regards, I mean, just incredibly far behind.
Is it because of a lot of regulation, or what do you think it's for that in the United States?
I think it's technology. The regulation, Mexico has done some kind of bad thing. I hate PayPal, but we still have to kind of use it because people like to use their credit cards. And I notice in PayPal in Mexico, you cannot have a balance in your PayPal account. They send it back to your bank every time, because the government wants to know what you're. I mean, basically, it's just convenient to have it with PayPal, and but the banks want to see everything that you're doing. So basically, you cannot have a balance on PayPal. Every time your balance goes back to your bank, and because they want to make sure they get their little tax in. So that's that's unfortunate, but there's nothing you can do about it, and that's why eventually. We'll just see what's happening. I have very mixed feelings about the new regime. I really don't know much about Mexican politics, but it seems like the new regime is actually doing better than the last one. So at least the peso seems to reflect that. And he's a socialist too.
Actually, today had a small jump against the dollar against the pesos. So let's see what happens. I think it's not going to last too much. This state of strong peso.
Well, I hope it does. I mean, it would be nice. I would love to see Mexico get on a sound money standard. At one time they were off and on. They've had their own gold and silver coinage, but then they always, the politicians always corrupted it. So we'll see. I mean, there's, like I say, the hope is in the new generation with people like Pablo, and I think that, and we don't know what's going to happen. The nice thing about Bitcoin is, we can jump ship if we have to. I feel very safe down here in Mexico. I love, the standard of living is, I mean, I'm living I'm not living in a expatriate community. I'm living like most Mexicans do. And Mexico, it has a growing middle class right now, which is good. That's central to having, a strong economy. And I know, they've denationalized their oil company to a large degree, which is great. And now hopefully they can, do the same. Well, if they could get around some of this if they can make it easy to incorporate, and if they could have the problem that I see is it's very difficult to do business down here. It's much easier to and forming a company is very difficult. So if they can lick some of those problems, I mean, Mexico has a tremendous future if they can introduce, more, deregulate a lot of things, get the politicians out of it, and just let this economy go. It's a two-tier economy where, very well, there's like the companies you work for, and then there's the taco stand. There's two different economies. There's one cash
Yeah.
economy, and the problem is if you set yourself up to be completely legal, you also set yourself up to be a victim as a target for the government. And so then there's politics involved, and there's payoff.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people don't do a legal business. I don't mean illegal, but they are off the regulations. I think
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's why they avoid regulation, because
right.
it's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass down here. It really is. They make it very, very difficult to do business, and
They're big with work.
yeah, no, it's more than that. It's corrupt. They want to be paid to, there's an extortion kind of a thing that goes on if you want to, and they don't understand if they got rid of that, how smoothly everything would run. I still don't understand why they built all this stuff. And then like in Rosarito, they built that big exchange, that road exchange, and they never complete projects. That's the thing that I don't understand. But at any rate, I have a hard time learning the language, so I'll probably never really understand the culture. But the people are wonderful, and they're very wonderful people. And it's just, I call it honest corruption. In the United States, we are thoroughly corrupt. Down in Mexico, it's more in your face, and you can.
It's more honest, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Victor. Well, I guess we're done for the night. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on. And
I'm looking forward to Vegas. I
am too. It's going to be absolutely great.
It's going to be awesome.
You'll want to be coming every year, and hopefully by 2021, your equity app is going to be known substantially more than it is today. I think it will be. I think that you guys I think you guys see what I'm talking about. I mean, I know it's there. So somebody needs to, because people like to have the rules. Oh, okay. But how do I use it? And that's sort of what we need to do. I kind of do it naturally, but to be able to visualize it does make it much easier to use. So
yes.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in and watching us tonight. And I need to
remember to sign up for Unconfiscatable.
Yes, sign up for Unconfiscatable. Victor will be there. I will be there. Bitcoin Motors will be. Juan Galt will be there. I'll probably have I'm going to be writing an article tonight, hopefully, and get it done and get it out there. So promoting it, because I want to see this thing sold out very quickly. So I want to see these. I want it sold out. So if people want in late, it's going to cost them $500 instead of $250.
Yeah.
So, and I think that'll happen. So. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Bye-bye. Oh,
bye, guys.
No, I already did it. I did my little dance before. So good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.